Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to deal with the students in the classroom and what are the different ways we can divide them so that their attention span increases or their learning becomes better. So one of the techniques I usually use is grouping them into the different groups. You may be asking that if you are grouping them, how they will be learning the better. So one simple theory you can understand that if I'm teaching every day, even those who subscribe to my channel, sometimes you feel bored of listening to the same voice, right? It's the same with the students. So in the class, the same teacher is teaching every day. Sometimes they may get bored or they may lose their interest. So it is better to divide them into the groups so they will learn from their peers. Sometimes they are not getting the actual information what we want to communicate, but definitely they will be learning something. And as a teacher, we will be becoming the facilitator and we will be monitoring their progress or their task completion status. So it is good for to sometimes follow the grouping techniques. So here comes what type of groups we can do to improve the learning of the students. So here usually I divide them into the two different types of the groups. One is a homogeneous groups and the other one is a heterogeneous groups. So you all know that the homo stands for the similar traits or similar ability type of the students, and the hetero combination of that different mentalities or the different ability of the set of the students. So you may ask like, do I group the same students every time the homo, same students every time hetero? No, my answer is no. Because depending upon the topic, some topics, they have to discuss with the same ability type of the skill students. Sometimes they have to be the mixed ability students sitting together. So one way, if we take the example of the how it is beneficial if the similar ability type of the students are sitting, so it will avoid the unnecessary discussions because all of them are the gifted students. Just think about that. So they all will be focusing on the task and they will be completing before the expected time. So sometimes for certain topics, I will be doing that all the group as a homogeneous group of students, and the other side heterogeneous group, sometimes I'll be giving the critical concept. So the each of them are the uniquely thinking. So if I am taking the example of the four students in the group, so somebody is talking about the structure of the project, somebody is talking about the negative side of the project, somebody is talking about the advantages of the project, somebody is thinking whether it is practically possible or not. So that way they will have the more arguments. You may think that as a teacher sometimes we lack of time management skills. So if you are dividing the children into the different groups, the argument leads to the sometimes out of the box, but it is okay because their critical thinking skills are developed, problem solving skills are developed. So it's not always that we have to stick to the same type of the group or the same students in the single group. So this is one of the technique I will use to avoid the distractions and the learning better from the peers. And as the facilitator in the classroom, I will be concluding the concept. After all the groups are completing their task, I will be asking them to present it to the remaining groups in the class. So that way the other groups will be identifying them, what was presented, are there any mistakes, or the time taken by them is sufficient, or if they have taken extra, or they were sticking to the guidelines given, or they are out of the box. So that way the children are judging the other groups, so they will also develop their analytical skills. And similarly, end of all the groups completion, as a facilitator I will be giving the conclusion from each group, whatever the major or the biggest achievement I have found it, or they shown me through their presentations. And at the same time I will be giving the conclusion saying that so and so went wrong, so next time better take care of so and so indicator. And also sometimes the most of the teachers, one more mistake they will be doing in the classroom is after dividing the groups, they forget to allot the duties to the each student in that particular group. So if you are taking the example of a four students in one group, you have to give them the specific duties, because you know that in the home itself if the parents are bringing some food, if both the children are liking, if you're not dividing them among, you can see the siblings lead to fight, right? This is for me, this is for me, that is for you, like that. Similarly, when you are dividing the class into the groups and you're not allotting the specific task or the duty or the responsibilities to the students within the group, that will lead to the another kind of a time waste for the teacher. So what type of the roles we can give in the groups is, one is a time manager, one is a resource person or the material collector, and the third one can be the presenter, and the fourth one can be the uh, what we can say, that the observing the recordings or experiment performing if according to the different scenario. So these are the certain things I will be doing it. You may be asking that if there are the more than the 4 students, what we will be doing. Sometimes they can exchange. See, instead of the one presenter, we can have the 2 presenter, because everyone will be involving in giving their points, but when they are presenting to the remaining classmates, the 2 of the students can present. So the next day, the other 2 students can get the alteration of the roles. Today, whoever is a timekeeper, tomorrow he can be the presenter. He or she, I'm not focusing on only boys, but in the class of the mixed gender, like female or the male students are in the class, you can exchange the duties. So someone can present it today, tomorrow they can be the timekeeper. Someone can be the timekeeper today, tomorrow they can be the resource person or the material collector. So all these things will enable the children, they feel that one thing we can see during the group activities, everyone in the class is engaged because they are busy with their own task, because every person has to do something. And also the team leader, who is the most important person of the team, because we may think that the middle school students are already knowing that, but that is wrong. It's a misconception. There are some students who is really having the leadership skills, but as a teacher we have to inculcate the leadership qualities in the students. So through the variety of the grouping techniques, we will be developing not only the learning skills or the attention span of the students, but we are making them ready for the future. Because you know that the future is not going to be easy or just solo roles. You must understand how to work in the teams. If you look at the software companies, there will be a lot of projects. It's not that your own salary, your own project. You have to involve with so many different people. So that way you'll be able to understand that how to build the social skills. Because if the children are individually doing the task, sometimes they think they are right or wrong, they are not able to express, or they are not able to take the opinion from anybody else. But when they work in the groups, they will be developing the social skills, emotional skills. Sometimes when they are presenting, you can see that I didn't get the chance, so teacher has to balance the emotional skills of the students. So that way, one of the other thing. And also when they work in the groups, they learn better. As I mentioned you, instead of listening to the single person and single idea, when you are listening to the so many people sitting in the group, you will be gaining the more knowledge. So indirectly you are exchanging your knowledge. So these are the certain benefits of the groups. So I hope next time when you take the class, you will follow one of these groups. Bye bye.